Hi guys, welcome to Top Wisdom. Today we're going to talk about the poem called A Sleeping Black Boy, a grade 11 poem. So guys, get ready and write some notes down and everything that you need. Pick up some key points and everything. Let's look at the poem structure. Title: This poem has a very descriptive title. Two adjectives in the title. So we know the poem is about a black boy who is asleep, but it is not clear as to what exactly happens in the poem yet. A sleeping black boy, Mongane, wally, serote. 1. He lay flat to face deep into the green grass. 3. The huge jacket covered his head, the heat unto his ears. 4. He is dirty. 5. The dirty screams from his flesh like a rotten smell. 6. He is pinned down by a throbbing footsteps passing by. 7. His lullaby is his of the water from the pot and the 8 roaring still river. 9. And the eyes passing by. 10. Dart around like bubbles of boiling water. 11. This small boy will die one day. 12. His lips stuck together by a glue he smokes. Poet Mongane Serote is a South African poet and writer. He became involved in politics and resisting the apartheid government by joining the African National Congress (ANC). In 1969, he was arrested and detained for several months without a trial. He is often writes poems in which he features the plight of black people, specifically those living in harsh township conditions. He has the first-hand perspective regarding the unfairness of the apartheid system. Structure: 3 stanzas, each of different length. The verse lines are also of different lengths. Rhyme scheme. No particular rhyme scheme, varying lengths of stanzas. Again, why do you think this is? Maybe it's because the poet decided to write his own poem without following the normal rules of the poetry. Maybe he did this because he was forced to follow the strict rules of apartheid in his everyday life. His poetry might have been an escape for him. Theme: the poem focuses on an abandonment of children that society should take hands to look after. Children on the streets will die unless people realize just how vulnerable they are. Any child needs love and support and guidance. These children perhaps even more so. Stanza 1, line 1 and 2. Line 1 and 2. A description of how the boy is positioned. He is lying face down on a patch of green grass. We can assume that he is probably in a very deep sleep, perhaps passed out. Line 3 and 4. He lay flat to face deep into the green grass. 3. The huge jacket covered his head, the heat unto his ears. 4. He is dirty, the dirt screams from his flesh like a rotten smell. There is a very big jacket covering his head, perhaps shading him from the sun. It is probably during a busy, hot part of the day. The fact that the jacket is so big tells us what? That it is probably not his own jacket. It was probably a hand-me-down given to him at a shelter. He relies on donations. He is basking in the sun. not really caring that he is sleeping midday in a public space. He is also dirty. This tells us he is not looked after and does not have the luxury of washing. He probably lives on the street. Line 5. Personification. He is so dirty it is as if the dirt screams from his skin. You can't miss it. It also signifies a cry for help. Simile. The smell of the dirt is being compared to that of something rotten. Does this possibly predict that the boy will die alone and be left to rot? Shock factor. Stanza 2, line 6. The boy is unable to get up from the grass. He is overwhelmed by a throbbing headache caused by people's footsteps rushing past him. Why does he most likely have a headache? Passed out from the night before. Perhaps the after effects of his drug abuse. The hot sun, the dirt, and the footstep also do not help. 6. He is pinned down by the throbbing footstep passing by. 7. His lullaby is the hiss of the water from the pot and the 8 roaring still river. 9. And the eyes passing by. 10. Dart around like bubbles of boiling water. Lines 7 and 8. A lullaby is a soothing song sung by a mother to a child before going to sleep. It is supposed to help the child feel relaxed and protect. It is an irony in this poem because the boy's lullaby is the sound of hissing from the nearby pot or fountain. This indicates that he is probably lying in a public park somewhere. He also listens to the sound of the roaring still river. Metaphor, the traffic rushing by sounds like a mechanical river. This is an irony because these sounds are not soothing and relaxing at all. They are quite scary and very loud. Line 9 and 10, simile. The eyes of the adults passing by him jump are compared to the sudden movement of boiling water. This indicates that they can't look him in the eye. They avoid making eye contact because otherwise they will feel guilty, like they need to somehow help. But unfortunately, especially in a country like South Africa, there are so many beggars and homeless people that we sometimes just turn a blind eye and try to ignore them. Note the word adults. Again, people who are supposed to help. Stanza 3, line 11. This poem ends with a sad prediction. It is likely that this boy will die. It might also happen very soon if someone does not step in. 11. This small boy will die one day. 12. His lips stuck together by glue he smokes. Line 12. And how will he die? From the drugs he abuses. His lips will figuratively be stuck together and he will die of an overdose. Again, quite a shocking image. This should probably urge the reader to want to help. Feel a feeling of sadness and helplessness. Okay guys, we have summarized the poem. Now let's take a look of questions, possible questions. Questions in your own words. Describes what the speaker sees in line 1 and 3. Refer to line 3. What does the word huge imply about the jacket? That's question 2. Explain the figures of speech in line 5 in your own words. This image is possible prediction of what? Define the word throbbing. Explain what is lullaby is, and explain the irony in lines 7 and 8. Why do they adults' eyes dart around like bubbles? What tragic prediction does the poet make about the boy's future? In your own opinion, how can society step in to try and help these vulnerable, neglected children? Mention at least 2 things. Here are the answers to answer these questions. Answer number 1. The speaker sees a black boy lying flat on the grass. His face is pressed into the grass. His head is covered by an oversized jacket. That the jacket is a hand-me-down and that the boy is quiet. That's question number 2 answer. Number 3. Personification. The dead screams from his skin like a cry for help. Simile. The dead smells like something that is dying. The image predicts his possible death. Number 4. Something beating or pulsing with a strong regular rhythm. Something pulsing. He has a pulsing headache. Number 5. A lullaby is a soothing song sung to a child at bedtime. This image is an irony because this boy's soothing song is the sound of the park pot and the sound of the traffic of the nearby highway. 6. Question number 6 answer. They do not want to make eye contact because then they will not have to feel guilty or become involved. Number 7. That he is probably going to die soon. 8. People can become involved with charities. Try to help the child by providing food. Trying to get the child to sign up at a shelter. Help by donating time and clothes or food. We can become more aware of what is going on around us. And even if contribution is small, realize that every bit helps and that we can make a difference if we do not simply look away.